But you know, we're going to win. We really are, because we kept the faith. We kept the principles. And we're still here, December 10th, 2022. Some of the others are going to prison. But we're still here, still fighting, still strong, still feeling good. The prices are not correlated to the progress. The prices are not correlated to the progress. It's a problem with the cryptocurrency market. And that's always been the issue. You know, it's completely irrational. Just roll dice, slaughter a chicken, and read the entrails. You're not going to be able to figure it out. I can't. No one can. You see, long term, maybe there's some correlation or connection, but these markets have always been this way. And welcome to crypto. I think Max is a stage performer. I don't think the Max you see on television or on YouTube is a real person. I think he was running out of money in the altcoin side and decided to sell his soul to the Bitcoin side. Years ago, people would come up and ask, why is it that Cardano gets such a bad shake in the media? Why is it that Ada, Cardano, you guys are so viciously, vehemently criticized? In fact, I went to a Twitter space a few days ago. It's a VeChain Solana Algorand space. And the JPEG store guy was there, and they're all just hating on him. They say, oh, Cardano is a scam coin. It's shit. It's all this stuff. There's so much programming in the industry. And then we discover the block, which, has given us such lovely coverage through the years. Vossel shipped after being 3 months delayed. Turns out that the CEO is taking bribes from FTX. Turns out that FTX was trying to pay everybody off to boost their garbage and attack legitimate projects. And that's the tip of the iceberg. When I was sitting there with Ryan Selkis and we were at the panel, the fireside chat, he says, why does no one like you? Is it because we don't have Ponzonomics? And they do. And they need to dump their stuff, so we're the enemy. And now all the dirty laundry is coming on out. You know, Cardano's gone through a lot. It's been a hard year. The markets have gone down from 2.6 trillion at the all-time high to under 900 billion. I think ADA is down 73%. In addition to that, all of these things you would think would be good counterparties to trade with, do business with, good partners to build with, they're disappearing one by one. So there's a consolidation in the industry. And what keeps people here is not money, it's principles. And it's about damn time that we go back to first principles as an industry and ask ourselves why we're here. Because you know what? If you're here for a 10x or 100x or 200x, you just witnessed real time what the end result is. If you're here to change the world or you're here to make stuff better, well, okay. That's a different story and takes a lot more pain, and it's not as fun. Why? Because you get criticized, you get brutalized, you get called ghost chain. You get murdered in the media. People write horrible things. But you know, we're going to win. We really are, because we kept the faith. We kept the principles. And we're still here, December 10th, 2022. Some of the others are going to prison. We're still here, still fighting, still strong, still feeling good, still able to keep it real, keep it interesting. And that's what makes it magical. You know what? It's been a hard year. We got Mithril to a wonderful place, Hydra to a wonderful place. It was so incredible going to Rare Bloom and seeing Load Wallet and Sunday Swap running test Hydra infrastructure. It was so much fun to publish SIP 1694. It was so much fun to talk about input endorsers for the first time and actually outline a design. There's so many good things that are coming. The Cardano MBO, go to the summit, be able to talk about that, how much excitement and interest and passion and fire that people have about these things. That means our best years are ahead of us. Isn't that cool? What if they don't throw him in prison? Okay, there's two ways this SBF thing ends. Either one way, he goes to prison for a very long time. Other way, SBF didn't kill himself. But there's no middle ground here. There's too much there, too much dirty laundry, too many politics. The prices are not correlated to the progress. The prices are not correlated to the progress. It's a problem with the cryptocurrency market. And that's always been the issue. You know, it's completely irrational. Just roll dice, slaughter a chicken, and read the entrails. You're not going to be able to figure it out. I can't. No one can. You see, Long term, maybe there's some correlation or connection, but these markets have always been this way. And welcome to crypto. Dogecoin is a great example of that. No problem with the Doge community. I have no problem with a lot of the 14,000 cryptocurrency projects. For some reasons, some have value. For other reasons, other ones have very little value. Well, the SEC can assert it, but then they'd have to sue over it. And there'd be a long litigation process the foundation would have to fight and go through. Regulation is regulation. It's a hypothetical. And there's nothing in the history of Cardano that feels security-like. From the beginning to where it's at today, to the fact that the network is fully decentralized and so forth, I would believe that then Ethereum and Bitcoin would also be securities, and they'd be in a bigger debacle. And this problem with regulations through enforcement, there's not much you can do. Just any given Sunday, it's whoever the regulator decides to pick, and then there's a big fight. $100 million is spent. It's brutal and vicious, and a lot of hard feelings, and sometimes people win, sometimes people don't. I've heard rumors that the Ripple case will be settled December 15th, and we'll just see. And that could have catastrophic implications for the industry, one way or the other. But you just keep moving forward. And the United States of America doesn't get to say that Cardano lives or dies. You do, the world. Okay, that's the point of decentralized ecosystems. And we're going to work as hard as we can on our side to make that protocol better, but we're just a voice and a chorus. There's 15 other development companies. There's an MBO on the way, complete on-chain governance with 1694. Every single day, the dream gets a little bit more real, and every single day, Cardano gets a little bit stronger. By the way, sidechains are an interesting thing. So I'm saying, hey, Solana, come be a sidechain. And it's tongue-in-cheek for a bit, but at the same time, I'm being a bit serious. And a lot of people are running around and saying, oh, there's desperation, or it's just this, focus on Cardano, focus on Ada. Guys, since 2016, pay attention. Since 2016, why Cardano's been out, and why Cardano outlined Cardano SL and Cardano CL, settlement layer, control layer, or computation layer. Okay, for 6 years now, we've been talking about this, thinking about this, pushing this forward, this concept that you have one main chain and a family of side chains, and each and every one of them does different things. And the sidechains model of Cardano is that if a sidechain comes in and connects to Cardano, that sidechain is a partner of the main chain. The main chain provides security, it provides infrastructure, it provides an ecosystem, and it provides liquidity. Okay, it's listed on 200 plus exchanges, all these types of things. So you have all that scale. And in exchange for that, the partner chain, instead of paying its inflation to miners who are nexus within that chain, it pays the inflation, the block rewards, to the stake pool operators and the ADA holders. Okay, because Cardano is taking care of the security of the sidechain. So you could take Solana, replace the current consensus algorithm with something 25 times faster and doesn't collapse all the time, make it a Cardano sidechain. Solana would then be paid to ADA holders to maintain it, probably at a lower inflation rate than they're currently paying right now. They don't have to worry about security anymore. And then all those dApps move over and they get better reliability and security, and they get faster. I just love this comes up again and again. Hey, Charles, what are your thoughts on Ada ISO 222 compliance? I've heard conflicting info. I'd love to hear more. Anybody who's trying to sell you on ISO 222 compliance is a fraud. It's a standard stack, and there's a collection of standards, some of which apply and would be relevant to cryptocurrencies, some would not. We looked into it. You talk about it in reference to an application or something running in the infrastructure, but it's not a USP of a product, and the absence of it doesn't mean you're going to be deplatformed. Banks hold Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not technically ISO 222 compliant. So it's not a thing, it's a non-issue. And if it's so important to you, go to Catalyst and argue it. Tell us specifically what you want. How can ADA get faster? Don't get me wrong, it's pretty fast, but I'm talking about 10 seconds to complete a transaction type speed, near instant. What would it take? Well, transactions are settled in that kind of time, but they don't reach full finality for about 15 blocks, give or take, depending on the parameterization, your trust thresholds. So it's a topic we've looked at. Ledger Combiners is a paper that we wrote, and there are plenty of ways. There's a relationship between throughput and finality. So throughput, generally speaking, when you want to increase it, you in these types of models usually increase latency to finality. In other words, what happens is you get more performance, but the expense is it takes longer for things to fully settle. The holy grail in consensus design is that you can do a throughput increase, but a finality increase at the same time. So they're one and one, which is why people are trying to layer BFT protocols or clever things with things like Ouroboros or a conventional Nakamoto style proof of work, because BFT does have that fast finality in that respect. So we've been looking at it, and it's something that I think in 2023 is going to get solved on paper. There's already a great degree of work, and where that's really important is for sidechain communication. So the sidechains have BFT protocols, so it's fast from sidechain to main chain, but going from main chain to sidechain, there's going to be a bit of latency unless you want to introduce some trust. Is Max Keiser a tool? It's an interesting one. So when I started in this industry, I knew Max very well. We announced Ethereum there. I announced Cardano there. Max had Max Coin. He was a very friendly, affable person. I had dinner with him and his wife, Stacy, and they even asked me at one point for subsidy, to advertise on their show. Then a few years back, Max had a 180 switch, and he went 100% Bitcoin. And now he compares every altcoin to evil people who are criminals. He goes on shows and like Tucker Carlson, and says that Cardano and Ethereum are scams. He compared me to Epstein because we took PPP money. Okay. And these other things. I think Max is a stage performer. I don't think the Max you see on television or in YouTube is a real person. I think he was running out of money in the altcoin side and decided to sell his soul to the Bitcoin side, and he has some patrons that are boosting him. Thus his positions. Why do I believe that? Because he was aware of Bitcoin since the beginning. And when I knew him in the beginning, he was an altcoin guy in addition to a Bitcoin guy. And he took pride in that. And he bragged about how he broke the big things on his show. But he effectively is a lost cause, and there's not much more to say. So he's more than welcome to continue doing his Bitcoin baptismals and other such things. I don't really care.